Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm going to give everyone a few seconds to come on while I'll share to a few groups. We want to welcome Councilman Dennis Pfeiffer. Let's go ahead and get to sharing because people want to talk to us so bad.
They don't want to talk to you. They want to talk to me.
No, Dennis, they want to talk to us. They want to talk to us. They want to see me talk to you.
Okay.
So that's what's going on. We gotta roll with that, Dennis. That's what we're gonna roll with tonight. But we're gonna give them the real you, since you want to talk. But I reached out to Dennis, and I wanted Dennis to tell his side of the story because Dennis has really been getting a hard time with all of this. So, I think it was only fair for Dennis to have more than 5 minutes or 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever you guys voted on to get time to talk about this. So one more minute here and we'll be ready to go. And I have to send it to my mom and stuff because they always forget. She can't find it on YouTube. But I think we got enough people on here now. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So everyone, thank you. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Wyntis Hall Show. Shout out to 810 News Media Group and the greatest producer in the world, Mickey Jordan. I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. I got Councilman Dennis Pfeiffer on, and we got, how you doing, Dennis?
I'm great.
Doing good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Okay, just want to check, make sure.
No, I'm completely lying, but no, I'm fine.
I know you're probably tired because I know, you're a busy guy. You got your work, your councilman, you got family, man. So I get it. I know you're tired. So I appreciate you, carving out a little time for us today. Trevor told me to tell you hi. Got to get that right off the bat.
Is that AKA Snowbilly?
Snowbilly, yep.
I don't know what his real name is. What is it?
It's Trevor Berryhill. So yep. So yeah, we call him Snowbilly. So he wanted to make sure I tell you hi. So I got that out the way. And thank you everyone for tuning in, everyone that's on the chat, everybody. So we're gonna jump right into it. We're going to address the chicken in the room. And Dennis, that's what everybody is waiting to talk about. They want to know what happened? What did you say? What did you mean to say? What did you think when you said it? Like, let's just talk about it right off the bat.
There's all right. I can't go back and change what I said, but 100% meant to say. Well, let me say this. It was, in the heat of the moment, it was either going to be. I think I started with monkey on our back and ended up with elephant in our room. So I kind of merged those two, and the merge didn't go so well. So I think the meaning on both of those sayings is the same, but I did an unfortunate merge in the middle, and it gave a lot of press to divert some of the problems, and obviously that came towards me instead of the real problem.
Okay.
So it was, I started with monkey on our back as speaking at the council and her inability to chair, and but yeah, that's it. Nothing more.
And you know what? It was so many people there, Dennis, and it was like I felt like if it would have been more, we all would have said something. But it
yeah, if the people in the community know me, and like the Black community put me in office. You look at who voted for me and supported me and wanted a change in the 8th Ward, and it's the Black people.
Right.
And everybody coming out support for what I said. It's the white liberals that are attacking me, and the support from the community is the people that they wanted to be outraged. But people know who I am, and if it was a truly racial derogatory comment, then I would have went into hiding and maybe even resigned, but people know that that's not what it was.
Right. I mean, I agree with you. I was shocked, Dennis, to tell you the truth about the press conference, since we're talking about this.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it. Actually, I was at um, the Empty Bowls, which is the fundraiser for the food bank, and I got a phone call from Ron at M Live, and like, do you have a comment? I'm like, a comment for what? Because I didn't know anything about it. And he
Mhm.
was like, yeah, the pastor and Liddell and whatever else are calling for me to do something, to apologize or whatever. And I'm like, for what? And and obviously it spiraled from there. And even the comments on that live from that pastor, the pastor that I guess stood front and center, did a Facebook live, and look at the comments on that live,
Right.
and he's got two in support who probably seen a half a second snippet, and the rest of them are he's being scrutinized for even getting involved and sharing a half truth.
Well, I mean, they shouldn't have got involved. I don't think that the concerned pastor should have got involved with only hearing one side of the story. They should have, if they wanted to learn more about it, they should have met with both parties and hammered it out that way. But to just jump on board, take sides, stand up, demand whatever they wanted, I personally thought that was wrong. So many people have called me in support of you, and I'm like you didn't mean it. I've gotten to know you. Yes, you're a stickler, but are you a racist? No. I wouldn't put that over you. You immediately said, okay, wait a minute. I blubbered this all up, but you don't owe anyone an apology. You don't. And I'm here to tell you that. Um, I've been hearing rumblings in the street, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I got to give the viewers what they want. And so word on the street was that you've received some calls from people wanting you to apologize. Now, were you shocked to receive calls from people?
Was I shocked to receive calls from people? No,
Mhm.
I don't. And I don't have a problem talking about what I said, because I can um, clearly explain what I meant. But am I shocked? No, because I mean, the word monkey has racial connotations to it. You can't. Um, that's and I understand that. So am I shocked that people want me to apologize? No,
Well,
but
did you get a lot of calls from people wanting you to apologize?
no, 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 no. No. Actually, one or two.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
one or two. No, that's it.
Okay.
Um, but no, and people call me, and I talk to somebody in the community that we both know for over an hour today about this situation, and everything else that's going on in the community.
Mhm.
And not once did this person ask me to apologize.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so no, and he's um, involved in the Black community, and I'll tell you who it is offline, but um, never once did he ask me to apologize.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well, yeah, we can talk
no,
about.
because we've had, like I said, people know me, and um, my actions, uh, and they take it from there. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
think the whole apology thing is probably just a lot of people wanting to capitalize on the moment and the press, and Mid Michigan Now put out that damn hit piece. Didn't even ask me for a comment.
I
Didn't
know.
even didn't even put a comment. Ask me for a comment, and put out the hit piece on me. I'm like, all right, you guys are dead to me. I'm never doing anything for you guys.
Well, you
But
know what? Like I said, you don't owe anybody an apology. You said what you said. You didn't mean anything about it. She's a terrible chair. It shows for itself. I think people need to come and see. If they haven't came, they need to show up and look and see for themselves how horrific dumpster fire. That is what the meetings have been called since she's been chairing. The pastors, as far as those pastors showing up, I don't understand why they had a press conference. I really don't even understand why they're having this meeting about the pastors next I think it's next Thursday. Like I said before, to me, I think they should stay out of it because you got all of these national groups getting involved because they're on your side. And so now the pastors that are coming forward, they're getting picked apart. Next week I'm going to have you because I just have to give the community what they want. So next week I'm going to have on Miss Beverly Biggs from 6 to 6:30. And then after that, Mickey and I are going to go into the after the council show because you guys meet next Wednesday. But she said, she was shocked when Pastor Reed got up there because he said that he didn't know Liddell. And it's rumored that he put her out of the Kennedy Center because she was cooking in there to receive $50,000 in ARPA money. But then we're hearing that it may be more than that. It's a lot going on with that. I'm sure you probably don't care about that, but you may care about that if somebody's getting promised ARPA money to do things. But besides the point, she's coming on. She has receipts to show that, where she's loaned out this pastor money. And that's what I'm saying. They should stay out of it because all of these things are now coming into play. And it shouldn't be, all because they stood up without knowing the whole story. So I'm really wondering who's going to stand up next Thursday at that meeting because they're going to have their past dug into. How do you feel about a concerned pastors meeting being held?
I don't know what the plan is. I didn't have a conversation with Tanya or Eric because they called the meeting. I have no idea what the agenda is, so I don't know which of the concerned pastors are showing up. Is it just one? I have no clue. So I know that I will be chairing the meeting, so maybe nobody will get thrown out.
Okay.
But other than that, I have no clue of what.
Well, I think the moral of the story is don't throw stones when you live in a glass house.
Well, I think, and I'll say this, and then maybe we can change the subject. Maybe something good will come from my misspeaking, meaning it may open the eyes to some of the folks and expose some of the stuff that needs to be exposed, because maybe if they didn't come out and do what they did, we wouldn't be knowing that there's maybe possible corruption with some of the ARPA allocations. So
I know.
So maybe we use this as a teaching moment. And
I like that. That's what someone else said. We're going to use this as a teaching moment, a learning moment, don't I?
Yeah. Okay. And I'm a true believer that everything happens for a reason. So maybe there was some divine enlightenment that made us divert our attention to what is really going on that we didn't see. We were, people lighting firework over here, but they're stealing over here. And maybe that's what this will bring about. And it'll be for the better.
Here next week, she's going to tell us some of it. So we'll get to hear some of it next week. Well, let's move on. Like you said. So
hold on. Somebody gave me shit for wearing a t-shirt. So
well, we can't see what you're saying. Well, because you're wearing a t-shirt, you're at home.
I know, but
you can relax at home.
I've never done anything that I don't have at least a collared shirt on or anything else.
Go shirtless?
No, I don't know. I guess I got to let me go put on a certain tie real quick.
No, you're fine, Dennis. You're at home. We just didn't have the studio ready this week. It would be ready in a couple weeks, but hey, you're fine. You're fine. So just chill out. We want the real you anyway. So let's move on. So Dennis, it was a hot mic on. Tanya's mic was on, and I don't know how many people heard it, but Candace made the statement. He wants to be president. Do you want to be president of
No,
council?
I've addressed this how many times now? No.
No?
No.
I think you would be a good president. I kind of want to see a Mays Pfeiffer. I mean, that's just me.
Well, to be honest with you, I think Mays would top out at 4 votes.
Yeah.
You being president, and maybe the reason is the reason that one, I don't want to be president, and two, I don't have the votes is because I won't work a backroom deal.
Right.
And it's all about garnering votes or whatever else. Now, if they and I won't solicit anybody for a vote. And to be honest with you, I've said this before. It's not worth the stress.
Okay.
It's not worth the stress. I mean, I don't get you don't get an extra vote. You just have the stress of being a referee, and I think everybody that's been a chair or is a chair or knows to be in that position that it's not easy.
Right.
It's not easy.
I know, but I think you can do it. You, like you said, you haven't put
Oh,
out.
I know I could do it, but it's there's a lot of division, and there's a lot of division. And
Well, if not you, then who? Who would you like to see lead city council? Yeah.
I thought these were going to be softball questions. You're killing
They
me.
are. I mean, these are soft questions.
I want somebody that's going to be fair, and but you know what? I don't know who. I honestly, you look at all the infighting and everybody else, and all of the chaos, and that's why if you look at the vote when we had the vote last time, if I would have voted for myself, I would have been vice president. So it was already 4 votes by the time it got to me for vice president. So I don't know who voted first, but I switched up and went to Liddell because I didn't want it. So I did not vote for myself to be vice president because I didn't want it. And I'm glad I didn't. But obviously I made the wrong choice.
Yes, you did.
Tripping up everybody and voting for Liddell. But and then obviously the next round it went to Liddell. But no, it's just, it's a lot of stress. My blood pressure at the end of the night, even not chairing, is crazy. So no, I have no interest in, we'll put a bookmark into who would be a good choice, but until I can see some kind of neutrality and fairness, I don't know. I honestly don't. It might go 10 or 12 rounds when we vote in a couple weeks. So
right.
I don't know.
That is coming up. What, November, right?
Yeah, sometime in November. I'm not sure if it's the 1st or the 2nd. Okay. But no, I got no interest in doubling my medication to take that position.
I agree.
People are like, oh, I switch sides to be president. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Well, one, I didn't switch sides. People are coming against me because I'm calling out corruption. So, I don't have a problem with Liddell or Quincy, but I won't tolerate corruption. And, every week, if we got to vote to suspend them or whatever else because of what they did, then it is what it is. And I won't back down from that because, our city is too disrupted already with everything else going on. We don't need the cloud of corruption over a council. That's
And that seems like that's when all hell broke loose for you.
Yeah.
Over in the administration building. I was there that night during the council meeting. You said, look, it was for the Ashley Capital vote. They were there. They were nervous as hell. And you said, if Quincy and Liddell vote for this, I'm paraphrasing. You said, I'm not taking part in this vote because
100%.
what they did was totally illegal.
According to some people, not. I'm in the camp that I'm in the camp that, well, I don't know if it was illegal. Apparently, it may be a loophole, but it's definitely unethical. And it's definitely unethical at the very least. It very well could be illegal, but folks are saying that it's above board. But that when I asked the question, can I go and do the same thing? I didn't get a yes.
Well, you did from Attorney Kim. He said as long as you create a nonprofit and the company gives to the nonprofit and not directly to you, then you can get it. I was sitting there when the attorney said that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a clear cut. Yes, I can go do the same thing. From what I heard, it was there was a bunch of asterisks, and there was a bunch of asterisks in his comment.
Right. Jolena, put Jolina's comment back up there. I like that.
And I will say that where there's smoke and where there's smoke, there's fire, and I got a hard time believing that this was the first time.
I do too, because it was too comfortable. Jolena Freeman, I for one don't understand the lengths that you all are going to demand an apology for this demanded apology with the press conference. Why not the same for Eva or Liddell? Why not? Why not for them? So are you saying that, what are you saying, Jolena? Are you saying that they should have I'm not understanding. So if I'm reading it right in my mind, I'm saying that Eva and Liddell should owe people an apology too, especially for Eva standing up. And you were sitting there, Dennis. I mean, she stands up over you all the time, trying to get to Tanya Burns.
Look, Eva should apologize for the ghetto comment. Eva should apologize for, saying the shit that she does underneath her breath for the past 2 years that I've heard.
Oh, you hear her? You hear her, Dennis?
It's funny that the people that support her don't hear it because she doesn't say with the microphone on, but everybody knows the game that she's playing. And it's to the definition of gaslighting is saying stupid shit under your breath and then getting on the microphone and playing victim. And I'm over it.
Dennis, you were sitting right there when you heard her. I'm looking at counsel, like you guys on a stage. So you usually look at people that's on the stage. When she looked right at me and was like, "What are you looking at?" I mean, and then she turns around and says, "When you have audience members attacking us up here on stage," I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" But that's the people don't see all of this behavior. You have to be there to see it.
It's truly astounding, the way that she acts, and then how the way she acts when the microphone isn't on, to the way that she acts when the microphone is on, and then it's complete and utter.
Eyes and play victim. Yep.
Yeah. No, it's and then she plays victim, like everybody's against her on Facebook, and everybody's attacking me, and Tanya went after me, and you know what? It's the game will catch up to her. It's just a matter of when, if not that if it will. It definitely will. It's just a matter of time.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here she is. I'm saying more wrong was done by Liddell and Eva during these meetings. Okay, JoJo, that's what I thought we were on. Everyone sees it. Not one press conference, but Dennis misspoke and then corrected himself. Yet a full-on army. Well, Dennis, you know what?
It's a diversion tactic.
I know, but word on the street was that you got a phone call from Mr. Gilchrist and he wanted you to apologize. Now, you may or may not want to talk about that. Was that true?
I don't want to discuss any private conversations that I have with anybody. So,
did he call you?
No comment.
Okay.
I'll say no comment. I don't. whether or not people are for me or support me or against me. I think that what's in the public stays in the public, and what's private should stay in the private.
Okay, well, on the flip side of that, the reason why I brought that up because I don't know who he was calling on behalf of, but then Mr. AC Dumas went on there and he was in support of you. So I'm just saying that NAACP movement right there. That's why I was asking. Nothing personal towards either one. Just like you got one in the NAACP for, one in the NAACP allegedly called you and wanted you to apologize. So I wanted to show that conflict there. Black Lives Matter. Did they reach out to you?
No comment.
Oh, you getting shady. Okay, you know what? I need Don on here. I need the big brother because Don is so shady on Facebook. And Don would have told me, Don, get on Facebook and tell me if these people called or not. I need to know.
Don would have told you take that janky hat off.
This is not a janky hat. Let me tell you, this is from Unleashed, baby.
I can't even see
it. Unleashed in the Valley.
You see how I brought janky into the conversation?
I see that. We're talking about somebody that called the whole city janky, and I hope he doesn't come after you for calling his hat janky, but because it's not Unleashed in the Genesee Valley, we're going to give him a shout out.
I don't even know what it is. What is it?
It's a lion with eagle wings, like soar like an eagle, lion, king of the, I don't know. Don't get me to explain it. I interviewed him before. He has to come back on here and tell you about it.
But just to circle back on that, to Eva and Liddell apologizing, Eva, she causes more chaos than any good things that she's ever done on council. I'll say that. And then Liddell, I mean.
Oh, wait a minute. Right versus wrong. This pop-up group put back, Mickey. What did they say? Wow. What did right versus wrong say? Gilchrist said he did. So, anyways, that's one part. Dennis, what do you think of the progression of the city, and what do you think will happen? Are we headed for a state takeover?
I don't think so. Financially, no, because ARPA, when we do a lost revenue allocation, ARPA will help us out a little bit, but with the inflation and the halfway decent economy that we've had over the past few, the revenue isn't really an issue, and we've got a lot of openings, and even though we have a $66 million budget, we're not spending that because we have so many open positions.
But Councilman Mays said you guys been in the red the last 2 years.
No, I don't believe that that's a true statement, because we've had 100 positions that we can't fill it, but we're budgeted for. Now we are spending more. It depends on what with accounting tricks. It depends on what he is seeing, because you can look at it 3 different ways, but because of the open positions and the increased revenue with the decent economy, I don't believe that we are in a takeover situation, not at least in the next 5-6 years.
Well, that's kind of soon, Dennis, if you think about it. 5 or 6 years. I mean, you can see one coming though, if we continue on the same path.
Well, if the way that people have been predicting a recession here for almost a year now, and we don't seem to be going into a recession. So I'll say this, with the increase of loan rates on mortgages are only 8%. People aren't going to necessarily move because they don't want to get an 8% mortgage. So people are kind of staying pat to where they are. So I don't think there'll be necessarily a mass exodus. So I think our revenue should stay somewhat the same as long as we don't have a serious downturn. That's just my position. So.
Okay. So I've seen this question up here a few times, and I did have it down to talk about it. The ARPA money. What do you think about that 12-member ARPA committee. What's your take on that? And actually the whole situation about how the money got allocated and the secret meetings, the ad hoc committee. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, when they first brought it up or whatever, I was like, well, are they subject to the Opens Meetings Act? Because, I think all of the decisions on ARPA should be transparent, and having closed door meetings or anything else, while, it's twofold, because the mayor didn't have to do anything. He could have made every decision himself.
Mhm.
But he didn't want that heat, so he put it on this 12-minute or 12-person ARPA committee. But in all intents and purposes, we have no idea what decision they made. So in effect, it's literally the mayor making the decisions in the back room. So I don't know. I fought, or I asked the questions early on um, if it was part of the Opens Meeting Act, and are they going to be open, or they're gonna ask for public comment? Are they gonna have scoring sheets? Apparently, there's no scoring sheets. I don't know how in the hell that's possible. Um,
Well, I know
so
Adele said because she's wait a minute, what did she say over at Metropolitan? She was a doctor of data or something like that, and she's always bringing up the rubrics that were created. I personally think that she probably created them. That's why she keeps bringing it up, but I'm not sure. So,
nobody is. I think there's actually an official word that there's no rubrics or scoring sheets available.
wow. So it's just like vote for Habitat, and you get in there and you vote for Habitat. When you,
No, I mean, I don't, but we don't know what the vote was on any of these. So there was allegedly 12 people there. We
Mhm,
don't know if all of them 12 all showed up for every meeting. We don't know if any of these recommendations, I'm going to do air quotes, recommendations, came forward. Was a 7-5, was there only a 6-5? Was there a 12-0? Was there anybody explaining these programs in person to them? Were
right,
they only looking at applications? Was there a birdie in their ear saying that, oh no, the application doesn't say this, but they're going to do this?
right.
Without being open meetings. um
It's
I
illegal, I think. Well, that's just my opinion.
uh
I guess the judge is gonna decide though, right?
but yeah, the judge is going to decide with the lawsuit. But if you look at any of these resolutions that are coming forward to spend ARPA dollars,
Mhm,
none of them mention this committee.
mhm,
So
mhm.
the resolutions themselves say, by the mayor. So
Oh,
um,
it's
it
not a
would
good
none of these resolutions say this was approved and voted on by the committee, and the committee as a whole supports this resolution to spend these ARPA dollars.
mhm,
There's zero mention of the ARPA committee in any of these recommendations. So I don't know if maybe he didn't like the recommendations and decided to go on his own, but he put the ARPA committee out there um, to make it feel like it was the community's decision.
right.
But I think that kind of backfired.
Right, it kinda did backfire, especially when you kinda go down the list of people and they're like, "Oh, nearly supported, nope, nearly supported, nearly supported." So it was kinda obvious to me
Yeah.
because 'cause I've been in politics, so I could kinda point the people out. So it wasn't fair to the people, and the people really they haven't seen any ARPA money. This water credit it was nothing to someone who rents. They don't see anything. That water
Well,
credit was nothing.
like I said, when I voted, because I voted to support the $300 credit, and I'll tell you this why. Um, the way I see it, and the way I've seen it for a long time, is there's not going to be much that comes out of this ARPA money. And in the end, in 10 years, will we have anything to show for it? And I still think that probably the I'm leaning towards we're probably not going to have any um, good things that we can say, yes, we spent the ARPA money on this.
Right,
I get a lot of flack for Miller Road, but that was a water line for Miller Road that's going to last 60 years.
right.
It wasn't the paving of Miller Road. It wasn't any of that. It was the water line underneath it
Well,
that's going to
Dennis,
last
that
for
was
60 years.
also back during when you were voting for Miller Road, but you wouldn't give any money to the North End Reinvestment Grocery Store that's supposed to open in October.
That's 100% true.
So you don't have any confidence in the grocery store either.
Well, I'll say this. At the time, and the way rumors fly around, 3/4 of them are true, and half of them are half true, and some of them are far fetched. But
Mhm.
there was a lot of talk about they gave that same sheet for equipment that they were saying that they were short. They were farming that same sheet out to 3 or 4 different organizations trying to get funding for the same piece of equipment.
Wait a minute.
So,
Don said October 2024. No, Don, it's supposed to in a few days, October 2023, it's supposed to open. But go ahead, Dennis.
but I thought there was some shadiness on them trying to come around and get the same funding 4 times for the same piece of equipment. To me, that was a little.
Was that the popcorn popper?
That was a whole list of stuff.
Okay.
That was a whole list of stuff. So, and in the end, obviously they didn't need the money if they think that they're going to open. I wish them all the best.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't know how they're going to be able to stay open, because I think the big chains, and it's the way the world is, they have pricing volume.
Mhm.
So, are you going to be able to go get a loaf of bread there cheaper than, going someplace else? And when, if there's not a pricing power, I think that the newness will probably wear off,
Right.
like it has with every other grocery store in the whole city.
Absolutely.
It's not north and south. Like there's no grocery stores in the city. Everybody has to drive to, out
Well,
county to go to eat or to get food.
right. So speaking of North End, I'm glad we had that little phrase come up, North End. So I was reading somewhere and it mentioned Carriagetown being the North End now. And they said in Carriagetown that they were supposed to build some new houses, affordable housing, duplexes running around 150 up to $214,000 in Flint. What do you think about that on the north end of Flint in Carriagetown, right by downtown?
You're gonna make me get too much hate mail now. People
I
are
get it
gonna
all the
cut.
time. It's fun.
People are gonna cut this up, and that's fine. I don't care. That's why I dress down and wear a t-shirt.
Right, right.
So, a couple of things. I'm not going to vote for it, not because I don't support new housing or anything like that. The whole Carriagetown and building up the Fifth Ward with free properties, I'm done.
Right.
I'm beyond done.
Okay.
This is the land bank that wants to do this.
Uh-oh.
And they want a tax abatement, so they don't want to pay taxes on it for 30 years, but
Oh,
they want to allegedly build $200,000 homes in the Fifth Ward. Just not like first of all, the land bank wasn't put in place to be a landlord and remodeling company and biggest property owner in the city. Like, they're by far taking their duties and responsibilities and thinking that they are the next great developer. So one, they shouldn't
Mike,
be
you're gonna be happy with me bringing this up. I'm sorry, Mike.
they shouldn't be. One, they want a Brownsfield credit on this property so that they can allegedly make them value. Well, you know what? We've got a bunch of property that they could build on.
Mhm.
Why they all these tax abatements that they want to try to group in the Fifth Ward, when 1 through 4 are becoming
Obsolete.
farmland is ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
People want to throw shots at me and everything else. I don't help out in the Black community. I was the one that made the motion to stop the land bank from taking houses that were occupied in wards 1 through 4. I
Oh, I
won't
didn't
tell you. Oh yeah. That was the when we first got on the council. They were like, because we get the list of 2,000 properties that the land bank's going to take,
know. Hmm.
and I'm like, well, they can't do shit with the properties they do now. Well, so why do we need to give them more? Let's keep people back in their homes. So I made the motion to stop every home that had a active water in wards 1 through 4. Well, actually, I did it in the whole city, and then that didn't pass. So I was like, okay, well, maybe Liddell and Quincy will support their own ward. So I says, in wards 1 through 4, let's keep everybody in the north end that needs help, that has an active water, because active water means that there's somebody living there.
Right.
Let's keep them in their homes. And that failed. So people don't want to help their own wards for some reason.
Well, I'm going to quit saying that you never did anything for Black people. Sorry, Dennis. You did vote on that, so kudos to you for that. I admit when I'm wrong.
I do. Well, you need to admit some more. You need to admit almost every day that you're wrong. Then.
Oh, shut up. My word on the street is 99.9% accurate. We all know that. But listen, we got a few more minutes. So I got a few more questions I want to get to.
Yep.
So 10 years. We're going on 10 years, bad water. 10 years, pipe still not fixed. I mean, the city is going in a shithole. The council meetings are dumpster fire. And then you hear the mayor wants a raise. What did you think about that? Even though I got turned down, I think it was Karen Lopez and attorney George Hamill were the two that had some questions about it.
So I'll say this, because I mean, when council got a raise, we had no input on it. I didn't at the time. I don't even think we knew that there was a meeting. So I don't know that the mayor actually solicited a raise. You can take that. I don't know who made the motion to get the mayor a raise. So I don't know if he had a conversation with that person to try to solicit it through them, but I don't know. So I can't speak to say that he reached out and wanted a raise, because it's supposedly an independent board that makes the decision based on different municipalities around the area to make sure that there's a level playing field. So I can't really speak to say that he solicited it. So
okay, well, I'm going to have to post the agenda and the meeting minutes from the last meeting, and so people can kind of get caught up on that. I'll post it on Flint Politics.
Yeah, because there's, I don't know how many people, there's 5 or 6 or 7 people on this board. I know the clerk is on the board, but obviously people get input from whoever they get input to get a birdie in their ear to make different motions. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. One more question before the grand finale question. So the question before the question, the recall. Everybody is kind of saying Dennis changed when this recall hit. It made him really think about his votes. He looked at what he was doing. I personally kind of thought it was the recall, but then it kind of weighed a little bit with you calling out members with that Ashley Capital. So what do you think about all these recalls that are looming, especially, let's just talk about yours. What do you think?
Yeah, so we can talk about mine. No, if like I said before, I won't stand for corruption. My recall is what it is. If I thought that having a conversation with Mays or anybody else or whatever would have stopped my recall, I think I might have done that before I spent the money to dispute my recall in court. So, and now that I'm fighting corruption against the alleged good side of council, I'll say that somebody else might recall me. So it's the prerogative of one person whether or not they want to do it. So like to say that I haven't had a conversation with the person that's recalling me. I don't believe, since I've been in office, but it's their prerogative. And this, what I'm doing to try to fight corruption and basically uh, agreeing with people I don't necessarily agree with on fighting corruption. Um, there's going to be 12 other people that don't believe it's corruption and will recall me anyway. So,
Right.
it's because it's one person that can submit recall information. So, or recall. So it's, recalls are part of what we do. And honestly, you can never make everybody happy. You just can't.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
you might have 3 people against you, or you're gonna have 2 people before you. So, it is what it is. But even if I do get recalled and I do get on the ballot and I do lose an election, I won't say, or I'm not going to swallow um, my beliefs and stand down for something I believe is wrong. I just won't do that.
Okay. Okay.
I just won't. So the recall, you can say that I changed because of recall, but I haven't had any conversation with the person that's recalling me.
Okay.
Then they haven't said that they're going to stop. I have no reason why they would stop. If they disagreed with what I did before for some reason, then you know.
I think they may stop because everyone loved the national cheeseburger comment. I mean, I did. I love
Well,
the shade
it's a
speech.
reactionary post, right? So I'm not going to sit there and be a dartboard um, without being able to give some shots back. People want to go low, like May say, I'll go lower. I got no
Hey,
problem with that.
I'll take them to hell. So I
I,
agree with you. So
I
yeah,
got no problem.
me either.
And
Well,
people calling on me to apologize. I'll apologize when she apologizes for walking out on the Mitchell boys' mother. I'll apologize when she walked out on the vote for the Pump Five people.
Dennis, you invited to the cookout.
I just there's so many things that um, it's astounding. I'll leave it at that.
So I'm glad you said that because this is my last question. So we see all of this. We seen at the end of special affairs meeting how I wouldn't necessarily say it was fights, but we seen the arguments. We see the tension growing between the audience and council. We see the tension brewing within council itself. How would Dennis Pfeiffer solve that? What do you think council could do to come together?
Nothing that we can do to come together.
Well, damn it, I mean, I thought that was gonna be like a 10-minute
No,
discussion.
no. I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's a possible kumbaya moment that we can all sit by a campfire and work out our differences, because that ain't never going to happen.
No?
That
Well,
ain't never going to happen. Honestly, there's folks that don't know how to talk to people, and that's the honest truth. They just can't handle it. There's some people that shouldn't be on council. So maybe um, recall everybody. I'll give up my seat if you can get 9 people up there that can have uh, honorable discourse. I'll recall all 9 of them,
no,
all 9 of us.
no, you need to stay. You've talked way more than the last eighth ward council person ever did, so it's fine.
but I'll take one for the team. Recall everybody, and let's. I don't know how we interview the next 9 to make sure that there's, uh, you know, like I said, honorable discourse, and make sure that people. But this current council, no, there's no way. There's no. We can maybe agree on an issue here or there, but people can't get out of their own way, and people can't get over people's personalities. Um, and I talk to a lot of people on council, because uh, I'll talk to Tanya. I'll talk to Jerry. I'll talk to um, Judy. I'll talk to uh, Quincy every once in a while,
Mhm.
and the probably what I don't know, last week or the week before, I don't know, all the days run together, but I talked to Maze for the first time in over a year,
Me too. Yeah, we had
and
a great discussion too as well. Yeah.
and I basically told him the way I why I voted on his discourse and the conduct, um, and we agreed on stuff and we disagreed on stuff,
Right.
but
Yeah.
the whole conversation was cordial.
Hmm.
At no point were we MFing each other. We were calling each other names. We literally had a good conversation for over an hour, and you know, it's how I called him out on stuff, and he called me out on stuff, and it was a great thing. And I was like, okay, I can see that from your side, but can you also see the way that you handled yourself on this side was improper? And no, it was a good conversation. Are we definitely going to go hang out at the bar? No,
No,
but
right. I
but
don't think he wants to go any more bars anyway.
it was it was a good conversation, and we'll see where it goes. But um, I wouldn't support anything negative um, after talking to him that he would do or support or anything else. Like, I'm still going to um, vote for what I think is right, and we were both good with making sure whatever we vote for, whatever we do, that we feel right about it, no matter what. So
Okay. So one last thing I wanted to ask you, since we got a few more minutes, have you had a chance to catch up on the war or the
war.
fight? Wait a minute, the feud between Swanson versus Neely and the city lockup. Oh, it's awesome. Have you
I
have you
had so yes and no. Like, I had a couple police officers reach out to me and say, is there anything that can be done, because crime is going to go through the roof, and police officers on the street reaching out to me, and I'm like, as far as I know, the state funding dried up,
mm,
and that's why, because um, they want to spend a shit ton of money on the garbage contract, and we don't have money for the things that matter.
mm.
Um, yeah, so uh, whether or not we can re-up that state funding, but Sheriff Swanson, I think, is doing a great job,
Absolutely.
but this was state funding, and I don't think that I definitely don't think there's room in the budget to allocate $2 million to keep it open.
So this ends Sunday. It's supposed to end Sunday. Is that what I read?
That would be the end of the third quarter, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, geez.
But I don't know any, like, the feud. I know that they've had conversations, and they've been some heated conversations, but
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know the context or the content.
I mean, I was reading about it today, and I'm like, woo, maybe I could get Sheriff Swanson back on for another interview. He may want to make some more history together. So
Yeah, I didn't read the article today. I don't know, what was the article put out today.
It was telling them about Neely said basically, I don't have any more money to give you. Swanson was basically saying the city sucks because you guys don't make your payments on time anyway. And if you don't open up the city lockup, we're only going to take certain kind of what word am I looking for? Certain kind of criminals can only come to the county, certain charges. They're not
Okay.
going to be, like housing everybody because they themselves don't have the room for all of that. So it's basically shit to get off the pot.
Yeah, from what I understand, it was a certain crime, whatever that may be, misdemeanor one or two, or low level stuff that they'd come to. So are they going to be like San Francisco or wherever else, where they book and release these people back onto the streets if after they commit a crime? I don't know.
I don't know, lawless community.
Yeah.
So one more minute. If you could, in 30 seconds, wrap up your thoughts about the current administration, what would you say?
Damn you, Wyntis.
I know, that's just me. Don't you love me?
I'm going to filibuster for 15 seconds of it.
Think about your feet.
No, so there's pros and cons with everything. They're doing good in some stuff. They're failing at other stuff. Like I said before, I think that we need new leadership in the police department. I got yelled at about that one.
Well, but his contract should be coming up, right? It was just a 3-year contract for $100,000 a year for Green, so his contract should be up like this month.
I don't know, but I will say that I speak to, I was the only person that got endorsed by the police department.
Mm.
And the person that that made the decision to endorse me got an earful.
Yeah.
And but so I have a good relationship with a lot of people on the police force, and they are begging for leadership. So I think that that's one of the things that the administration is failing on. I think that not communicating good about where we are with the water pipe replacement. I think that that's another failure. I think that they are doing some better stuff with the roads. They're fixing a lot of roads this year. I think that they're making progress on the pipe replacement. They're just not communicating it correctly. The gun recall thing. That was a fucking nightmare. That was a disaster.
Yeah, I just didn't think about that. Yeah.
Like the picture they put up with shotguns, and now those are assault rifles. Give me a break. That was a failure.
So what's his grade? If you could grade him from A to F, what would you give him? And his whole administration, counting Jane.
Sure.
F,
Sure. I think I liked Jane because she didn't hold back and she told the truth.
Didn't.
And I think that's probably one of the reasons why she's gone.
Yeah.
But I would say a C minus.
C minus, yeah. Yeah.
I would say a C minus because there's a lot of stuff happening, like I said before, and people can criticize me, but there wasn't a line of people to do anything with Buick City. So, was it going to sit dormant for another 20 years? They've got a building almost up already. So I think that's one of the good things that's happening in the city. There's a lot of, unfortunately it's happening where they're trying to relocate a lot of folks to the center city, and they're neglecting the outer skirts of the city, especially the North Ward or the North Wards. But that's that's part of the plan to turn that.
They have a shooting almost every day in the Regencies, now Midway Square Town. But
yeah, the outer extremities of it, because the south side of my ward, the residents are, there's a helicopter there. They got the spotlight on almost every night.
Wow.
But that's part of the leadership in the police that I spoke about. So, yeah, C minus.
C minus. Well, thank you, Dennis, for coming back on. And you know what? We're going to have to do another one when we get back in the new studios. So I got to.
As long as I don't get robbed in the parking lot again.
You won't. Not at this place. We have security, beautiful lights and everything. We have police escorts over there. It's beautiful where we're at now.
It was Mickey that robbed me before, so.
Oh, well, I'll make sure that the police escorts and the cameras, everything will be caught on camera, so he won't grab you again. So listen, thank you, Dennis, and thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope that we got a lot of stuff answered tonight. Tune in tomorrow for Trevor's Rant at 12. I won't be on with Trevor, sorry, just not hearing this now. But I won't be on with Trevor tomorrow at noon. But check in with Trevor tomorrow for Trevor's Rant. And then Sister Circle tomorrow at 5:30. And then, like I said, next week on the Wyntis Hall Show, one last week before I enter back into the studios, I will have Miss Beverly Biggs on. She has some tea to spill and some shade. Baby, get your sunglasses ready for the shade that she has to tell.
Oh, can I tell you a quick story real quick?
Wait a minute. That's how Liddell do y'all in council. Hold on, wait a minute. So, so get ready for Beverly Biggs next week, and then at 6:30, she's on from 6 to 6:30. Then from 6:30 to 7:30, Mickey and I, because Mickey has to do a sermon the first of every month, we'll be back on to talk about after the council. And then the following week, Wyntis Hall will be back in the studio with my guest in the brand new studio, Mr. Maurice Davis. So you don't want to miss that. Okay, so now you have the floor back.
Yeah, no, I wanted to tell you how white me and my brother are. I had to explain to him what shade meant.
Oh my God.
He didn't know. He didn't know.
He didn't know what shade meant. What
No.
I can't find my glasses. Oh,
No.
you gotta get us some glasses and stuff to put them on. Tell them that shade. So, because I love the Pfeiffer brothers on Flint Politics Reboot, the shade was real. Y'all made my weekend last weekend. I love the Pfeiffer brothers in the shade movement. So keep it up. That's all I want to say.
He's uncensored for sure.
Yes, he is. But on Flint Politics Reboot. Mickey, did you have any last words you had to say tonight, darling?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I was just enjoying the conversation.
All right. Well, I hope everyone else enjoyed it as well. And thank you all. And we will see you back on soon. Thank you, Dennis.